Hello. Today's study is trust. We're going to look at the scriptures and see what the scriptures has to say about trust. Can somebody read Psalms chapter 25, verse 2?
O my Elohim, in you I have put my trust. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies exult over me.
This is what we need to do. We need to put our trust in Elohim, in Yahuwah and Yahusha. We need to put our trust in them, and then that way our enemies will not exult over us. Can somebody read Psalm chapter 31, verse 6?
I have hated those who observe lying vanities, but I trust in Yahuwah.
Great, thank you. Trusting in Yahuwah, hating those who observe lying vanities, the ones who lie. We hate the ones who lie, that they're lying, not hating the person, but what they do. And we trust in Yahuwah. Can someone read Psalm chapter 31, verse 14?
But I have put my trust in you, O Yahuwah. I have said, you are my Elohim.
Great, thank you. Put my trust in you, O Yahuwah. You are my Elohim. We're trusting in Yahuwah, our Elohim. Trust him for everything. Trust him for health. Trust him for finances. Trust him in the way you should go. Can someone read Psalm chapter 33, verse 21?
For our heart does rejoice in him, for we have put our trust in his set-apart name.
Great, thank you. So we have put our trust in his set-apart name, Yahuwah. Our heart rejoices in him. We rejoice in our Elohim. Can somebody read Psalm chapter 37, verse 3?
Trust in Yahuwah and do good. Dwell in the earth and feed on steadfastness.
Great, thank you. Trusting in Yahuwah and what? And do good. Trust in him and do good. Be a doer of the word, not just a hearer of the word. Follow after the laws, statutes, and judgments. Follow what you should be doing, and then you'll be doing good. Can someone read Psalm chapter 37, verse 5?
Commit your way to Yahuwah and trust in him, and he does it.
Great, thank you. So what we should do with our ways that we go in life? Commit our ways to Yahuwah and trust in him. Trust in him as we commit our ways to him, and he does it. Can someone read Psalm chapter 40, verse 3?
Then he put a new song in my mouth, praise to our Elohim. Many do see it and fear and trust in Yahuwah.
Great, thank you. So Yahuwah put a new song in our mouth. He puts a joy in our heart. Our praise to Elohim, and many do see it and fear and trust in Yahuwah. They see it and they trust in Yahuwah. Can someone read Psalm chapter 40, verse 4?
Blessed is that man who has made Yahuwah his trust, and has not turned to the proud, and those turning aside to falsehood.
Great, thank you. So when you trust in Yahuwah, you are blessed. You're blessed because you're trusting in Yahuwah and not turning to the proud and those who turn aside to falsehood with lies. Trusting Yahuwah and you'll be blessed. Can someone read Psalm chapter 55, verse 23?
For you, O Elohim, do bring them down to the pit of destruction. Men of blood and deceit do not reach half their days, but I trust in you.
Great, thank you. So Elohim brings them down to the pit of destruction, men of blood and deceit who do not reach half their days. So they don't even reach half their lifespan because they're men of blood and deceit. But what do? We trust in Yahuwah. Can someone read Psalm chapter 56, verse 3?
In the day I am afraid, I trust in you.
Great, thank you. So when you're afraid, what do? You trust in Yahuwah. Trust in Him when you're afraid. When you're surrounded by your enemies, trust in Yahuwah. He's our deliverance. He's our shield. He's our refuge. Can someone read Psalm chapter 62, verse 8?
Trust in Him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before Him. Elohim is a refuge for us. Selah.
Great, thank you. So when do we trust in Yahuwah? We trust in Him at all times. This is what we're called to do. Trust in Him at all times. Pour our heart out before Him. Pour our heart out before Him. Tell Him what's on your heart. He's a refuge for us. Can someone read Psalm chapter 71, verse 5?
For you are my expectation, Master Yahuwah, my trust from my youth.
Great, thank you. So Yahuwah is our expectation. Yahuwah, we should trust Him from our youth. If we know Him from our youth, we should trust Him from our youth all the way through our life. Continue to trust Him. Can someone read Psalm chapter 78, verse 7?
And place their trust in Elohim, and not forget the works of El, but watch over His commands.
Great, thank you. So we place our trust in Elohim, and we're called not to forget the works of El, what He's done for us, and what He's done in the past, what He's done in the scriptures, and watch over His commands, keep His commands. Can someone read Psalm chapter 91, verse 2?
He is saying of Yahuwah, my refuge and my stronghold, my Elohim, in whom I trust.
This is what we should be saying of Yahuwah, that He is our refuge and our stronghold, in whom we trust. Can someone read Psalm chapter 115, verse 11?
You who fear Yahuwah, trust in Yahuwah. He is their help and their shield.
Great, thank you. If you fear Yahuwah, trust in Yahuwah, because He is our help and our shield. He's our buckler. Can someone read Psalm chapter 118, verse 8 and 9?
It is better to take refuge in Yahuwah than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in Yahuwah than to trust in princes.
Great, thank you. It's better to take refuge in Yahuwah than to trust in man. It's better to take refuge in Yahuwah than to trust in princes. So instead of trusting in princes and man, take our refuge in Yahuwah and trust Him. Can someone read Psalm chapter 125, verse 1?
Those who trust in Yahuwah are like Mount Zion. It is not shaken. It remains forever.
Thank you. So those who trust in Yahuwah are like Mount Zion. Mount Zion is forever. It is strong. It is not shaken, and it remains forever. Can someone read Psalm chapter 143, verse 8?
Let me hear your kindness in the morning, for in you I have put my trust. Let me know the way in which I should walk, for I have lifted up my being to you.
Great, thank you. This is hearing Yahuwah. Let me hear your kindness in the morning. Spend time with Him. Hear Him. Hear what He has to say to you. For in you I put my trust. Put a trust in Yahuwah. And we should ask Him in which way we should walk. For I've lifted up my being to you. I lifted up my being to you in the morning, and we ask which way should we go, and He will direct and guide our path. Can somebody read Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5?
Trust in Yahuwah with all your heart, and lean not on your understanding.
Great, thank you. So we're called to trust in Yahuwah with all our heart and lean not on our own understanding, because we trust in Yahuwah. He will give us understanding, and he will give us direction and guidance the way we should go. But don't lean upon your own understanding, but lean upon Yahuwah and trust him. Can someone read Isaiah chapter 12, verse 2?
CL is my deliverance. I trust and am not afraid, for Yahuwah my strength and my song, and he has become my deliverance.
Great, thank you. El, Yahuwah, is my deliverance. I trust and not afraid. I'm not afraid because I trust in him. For Yah is my strength and my song. He's the song of my heart. He's our strength, and he's become my deliverance. He delivers me from evil. Can somebody read Isaiah chapter 26, verse 4?
Trust in Yahuwah forever, for in Yahuwah is a rock of ages.
Great, thank you. So how long should we trust in Yahuwah? Trust in Yahuwah forever. For in Yahuwah is a rock of ages. He's a rock. He's stable. We can build our life upon him and around him and in him. So read Romans chapter 10, verse 11.
Because the scripture says, whoever puts his trust in him shall not be put to shame.
Great, thank you. So what does the scripture say? Whoever puts his trust in him, Yahuwah, shall not be put to shame. So you won't be put to shame if you put your trust in him. Trust in him. It's a very important thing. We should not trust in our own abilities and talents and everything that we have, but trust in Yahuwah and everything he is.